Welcome, everyone, to the ValTrenda Show, your headquarters for melanated mental health. I have to thank you for joining us every single Saturday at noon. You've been here. You've been enjoying the show. You've been emailing me. You've been texting me saying, hey, I'm really digging this show. For the entire season, you've been commenting, you've been liking, and you've been sharing. And I couldn't be more grateful. So thank you so much. This, as you know, is a safe space. This show was designated and designed for conversations surrounding everything mental health, but more specifically, melanated mental health, because again, it's so overdue, these type of conversations. And we're talking about everything related to mental health, but we're catering it to the audience of our melanated Black and Brown community. Now, sure, you can watch, you can even share it, but all of this information is catered just specifically to us. So if you have friends, you have family, tell them about the ValTrenda Show. Tell them they need to be jumping up on this, okay? Because our objective here is to bring more than just awareness to the Black and Brown community about mental health, but education as well. And so that's what we've been doing this entire season. Speaking of this entire season, it's been full, right? It has been a lot. We have spoke with experts. We spoke with counselors. We spoke with estheticians. We spoke with judges. We spoke with doctors, school board members, and let's not forget our group of courageous women, right? We have taken the time to hone in on the purpose of this show. Again, it's a safe space, and we have a deep sense of care for mental health. And so we've decided to spread that all here. This show is different. It's not your average mental health show, right? But it's catered to this genre of people. So we created it for no one else but you, our Black and Brown community. So again, tell your friends about it. Thank you for sharing your stories. More specifically, on this first season, I've been sharing my story, my own personal growth. I know y'all see my own personal growth. My very first episode, y'all seen that pink thing that was, I don't know what that was, but listen, we got through it. So you've seen professional Val, you've seen Val that's just sick of the gym Val, you've seen my happy moments, you've seen the holidays, and that's been our entire first season. So wow, that's all I can say. So today we're going to go back and we're going to look at the journey. We're going to look at the work that we've put in, the work that I put in, because honey, I put in some work. I don't put in work. I've gotten in trouble. But it's all been worth it. So when you come back, we're going to go to a quick break. You're going to see some clips of what we've been doing our inaugural season of the ValTrenda Show. So go get your mimosa, go get your water, go get your drinks, go get whatever you need to do, and come right back here to the ValTrenda Show, your headquarters for melanated mental health. I'm going to make the ValTrenda Show mimosa, and I gave you guys the ingredients, but now I'm going to show you how to make it. It's not that hard. So get you a nice little strawberry, clip the end off, slice it. I'm gonna have that one ready right there. So whatever kind of juice you want, I don't know whose brand this is, but it's juice. Okay, so we're gonna pour that, a little bit of that, you see that? A little bit of that. Look, this is some champagne, somebody's brand too, that didn't pay me. A little dash of that. Now this is my boyfriend, okay? I don't care if they pay me or not, but this is my boyfriend. This is them. All right, and then a whole bunch of that. And that, my dear, is the ValTrenda Show mimosa. That's probably not how you're supposed to slice it. Hold on. Gotta get it right. Bam. That's strong, but it's tasty. All right, Mocha Marbles, we're moving to Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. So please be sure to check us out. Bring family and friends. Get you a little, what in the morning, Corey?
We're going to add a little flavor to your morning blend, but just now.
Welcome back to the ValTrenda Show, your headquarters for melanated mental health. And thank you for joining us as we take a look back into the inaugural season of the ValTrenda Show. So this particular one, let's take a look back into some of our interviews. We've had some amazing guests, very educated, as I must give props to this show, because we're pulling in top-notch people here. This particular clip that I'm going to show you, we were able to sit down with Karen Perez. She's from Hillsborough County School Board, and we chatted with her about some of our children's mental health. All right, so let me remind you, some of the most common mental health conditions in our children are anxiety disorders, ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactive disorder, disruptive behavior disorder, eating disorders, learning and communication disorders. All of these are still very common in our children today as it pertains to mental health. Let's listen to this short clip of Miss Karen Perez.
How we affect our youth, as far as the things that we do as society, and the effects that has on the mental health of our children.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The interesting part is that I don't think it is brought to our children. I think right now in society, we're just getting to a place where mental health is becoming, oh, I didn't know that was a thing, right? You agree with that? And so
yes, I do.
I don't think it's really reached the children yet. We are, as adults, are just now getting to the place of, hey, let's deal with mental health. I didn't know that was a thing. Do you what do you feel about that?
Well, when I ran for office in 2018, my alarm was when children at the age of 8 were committing suicide. And as a society, we weren't ringing, an alarm, a siren.
I agree.
That we were publicizing that in a newspaper, but nobody stopped to say, hey, wait a minute. When a child who's 8 years old is able to verbalize and follow through with suicide attempts,
right,
there's a problem.
Right.
We have a societal problem that is leaking into our children. And we have to, as a society, acknowledge this.
I agree.
But when I was running for office, I was told, no, mental health is not an issue. And that was in 2018.
Wow.
But then I noticed that in 2019, the headlines and a lot of our elected officials started talking and giving language to mental health. Mm-hmm. And it started being pushed up the ranks of really important issues in our society.
Yeah.
And that was only 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
It,
insane.
it is. It is. So if we're looking at only 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
imagine the trauma that our Black, Hispanic, children of color have already dealt with or
Yeah.
have been affected by.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when we're looking at where our children are normally 8, 5, 6 hours a day, that's in our schools,
Right. Right.
you know.
Right.
And so I kept, one of the platforms that I noticed that I would have a larger voice in
Mm-hmm.
was in our Hillsborough County schools.
Mm-hmm.
We're the seventh largest in the nation. And if I could affect change in the schools and provide that springboard for our children
Right.
in the arena of mental health, then possibly I would be able to get the ear of our legislators, of our
Yeah.
senators, of our congressmen, to be able to, um, you know, ring that bell.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
being that the bell is, you feel like the bell is now being rung. It's been rung a while ago, but it
Mhm.
seems like leadership, our legislature, all of that, our mayors, our just everybody is now all of a sudden hearing the bell.
Yes,
Like the
yes,
bell's been ringing. We've been
yes,
having issues with the children, committing suicide,
mhm,
things of that. The bell has been ringing, but
yeah,
now the people of leadership are now hearing the bell. So now
yeah.
that they're starting to hear the bell ringing, what do you think our community needs to know about recognizing signs in our youth to get the children the help that they need?
So now our society, especially our community of color, because uh, Hispanics or blacks and Asians don't normally go to a therapist.
Right.
Our communities normally are, hey, if you have problems, you leave them home.
Yeah,
But we have to embrace, we
absolutely.
have got to embrace that when you go to the doctor for diabetes, when you go to the doctor for a heart condition, you're seeking out professional help.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeking out a professional that's going to guide you
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
be better. The
Mm-hmm.
same way with your mind, that you have to seek professional guidance.
Yes,
You're
absolutely.
not going out telling your business, you're going out seeking a
The help.
professional
Yeah.
net that's
Yeah.
going to help not just you, but the entire family.
Yeah. I
You
love that,
know,
Karen. I absolutely, I love that because, our parents, they teach us, you're sick, go to the doctor.
correct.
But that's when it's talking about being sick in our bodies, physical sickness. But what
Yeah,
about when it comes to our mental sickness? Are
correct.
are we just as strong in our faith?
Hmm.
Are we just as strong in our push towards people to go get the help? What's the difference
Right,
between a physician and a psychiatrist or a licensed mental health counselor or a licensed mental social worker, right?
right, right,
What's the difference in seeing a doctor for for your physical health and
right.
seeing a doctor for your mental health?
There you go. I often have to really, really break it down to families
Mm-hmm.
that there's doctors that specialize in all there's a podiatrist, there's a dentist, there's
Yeah.
a audiologist. There's doctors that specialize in all different areas of the body.
Yeah.
But when we come to talk about the mind, people run. They don't want to acknowledge
Why do
that
you think
part,
that is?
because always society has always um, put together or enmeshed the mind with crazy. And I
Ah, bingo.
think, yeah, and I think we have to start, you know, removing that stigma. We
Yeah.
have to start saying, if you go to the doctor to take care of your teeth, you're going to have a healthy smile. You're going to have a
Yeah.
healthy, you know, if you go to the doctor for your mind, you're going to be healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's we have to stop putting the crazy factor and start putting healthy
Yeah.
into that
Absolutely.
space.
Absolutely, Karen. Thank you so Happy Women's History Month and happy still birthday month to moi. We would like to point out and give a major She Rose tribute to a very special woman in history. This woman is an American and Swiss singer. She began her career singing in church as a young girl in Nutbush, Tennessee. Then escalated her career when she joined Ike Turner and the Kings of Rhythm. After leaving and divorcing Ike Chaka, we all know that needed to happen. She began her solo career that didn't take off until she was 44 years old. Lil Ann sold over 100 million records worldwide. She has 12 Grammys. She's been inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice. And there's much more accolades for her. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Anna Mae Bullock, worldly known as Miss Tina Turner. Welcome back to the ValTrenda Show, your headquarters for melanated mental health. Now, as we talk about melanated mental health, do you guys remember our late night talks we used to have with our Black and brown men? You don't remember the man moment? That was one of my, I know all of them are my favorite segments, okay? But this was one of my favorite segments because we hear a lot of women talking. We have a lot of women guests on the ValTrenda Show, but our Black and brown men are so very important to us here at the ValTrenda Show because they have a voice. And I want them to know that on the ValTrenda Show, they have an opportunity to vent, to talk, to laugh, whatever, because we have to pay homage to our Black and brown men because they go through so much. Think about what they went through during slavery. And they've carried those burdens from generation to generation, to community, from father to son, to nephew, to uncle, to friend, to brother. And you don't think that we need to take time to talk to them? You must be out of your mind. But we here at the ValTrenda Show know how important it is to talk to them because they are important to us. Absolutely. And we appreciate them. So we had created this safe space for these men to come in, called the man moment, and share their feelings. So we're going to take a look back. We're going to chat first with Nafis Ricks as he discusses his personal experiences with going to counseling. Then we're going to watch our enlightening moments with J. Rock Jones, the entertainer. And then lastly, we'll catch some laughs with comedian Cletus Cassidy. Watch this. Good. So now we're going to talk about, Black men in general, all this kind of stuff. Some of the main questions that you think that, some of us women, I'm just going to throw this one out there because this is one of the main ones, is why won't he just talk to me? Like, how come Black men are like, when we say we need to talk, instantly what happens in a Black man's mind? What goes on in a Black man's mind as soon as you hear we need to talk?
So for me personally, I can't speak for everybody, every Black man, but for me, it seems like a negative message. When you hear that, it's like, what did I do now? It's it's kind of like it's like a drive by. It's like such and such is coming around the corner for a fight. Like, what do you want with me at this particular time?
Right.
So I just think when you talk about the way it sounds or the relationship that you have with your partner, I think the way it's being said can kind of mess with a black man's psyche. And I know for me, I hear that, I'm like, oh, what did I do? It's like, I got to fix something. Something has to be fixed.
You know, most of the times when I know in my personal life, when I said we need to talk, it just never goes out that way. It's never just a talk. It's always, you know, most of the time it's me saying what you did wrong. So it does kind of speak to your insecurity. Oh my God, what did I do now? Right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I know for most women, when we need to talk, it's not very common that we're gonna be like, well, honey, I'd like to have a conversation with you.
Right.
It's typically not, you know, brought up like that. So from your perspective, you know, as a black man, as a man in general, like, how do you think women should be approaching men when we need to have some type of conversation, when we need to talk, and it's serious, obviously, but we need to have a conversation? How should we approach you?
All right. So for me, I think you kind of framed the question. Like, what do you think about this? And go into it like that. I think the intimidating factor is, like you said, the stigma around just being called out or I need to talk. It's not heard in a positive light sometimes. So when you hear it, it's just like a trigger almost.
Yeah.
So that triggers me when you say we need to talk. Well, did I miss something? Was I not present? Like, and that's how we look at it. So I think framing the question a certain way to open up, because I think in conversations and, you know, what time of moment, doing it at the right time. Because I think sometimes if you had a long day, I had a long day.
Right.
Really hear this bad moment right now.
right.
The one I supposedly like I care about. So, you know, it's always gut wrenching when that happens.
Yeah. And most times it does lead to an argument. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah. See, so sometimes it's hard. Do you think it's hard for black men to express themselves?
Oh, most definitely. Because it's what we are portrayed in media and just in general, we are portrayed like superhumans. And, you know, we have to be macho, that masculinity has to be shown. And I think sometimes our vulnerability, we feel like we're giving something up. And I always say vulnerability is a strength. And I think we need to talk about it. I think we need to express ourselves because it's always like that hidden topic that we don't talk about. We try to be macho. We try to show that we got it. And sometimes we don't have it.
Right. And what about the times when you don't have it? So when you don't have it and you got the pressure that you need to have it, what happens? What does the black man do? You know, when you need to have it and you just don't?
So I'm a big proponent of journaling. I have a therapist. I've been having a therapist for 10 years now. So I kind of lean on that. And when, in the moment, I kind of shut down. I think I shut down because it's a vulnerable topic, and I'm getting better. I'm a work in progress. So journaling, meditating, and really meeting my partner where she's at the time, and not really trying to, you know, not listen. Because I think a lot of times we talk, but we don't say it in the right ways, or we're not willing to listen. So now when I get my feedback, I'm comfortable with saying what I got to say.
Yeah. What's common about, you know, or how common is it, if it is at all? Because again, you know, we're talking about how it's perceived that black men don't go to counseling. How common has it been for black men to go to counseling in your experience?
I'm the only one from my neighborhood that I know that speaks openly about going to counseling. I don't know anybody who goes to counseling, but in my circle now, I really advocate for that. I'm starting to see a little change because, you know, mental health is trending now, but I don't want it to just trend in a sense. I want it to be like, yo, I'm going to get, like for women, I'm going to get my nails done, I'm going to get my hair done.
Right.
So I don't know too many. And like I said, I try to be supportive, but not pushing in a way. I think men do vent. I think they do like it's a sort of therapy for us when we talk to our friends about situations that we've been through with our significant others or whatever.
Yeah.
But sitting down, what they think about counseling and sitting in the chair and you got your eyes closed and you sit on, and it's probably this white man, white woman that are talking to you. And he's like,
Right.
what do they know about, what do they want to know about me? So, I don't know too many, but
Right.
I'm trying to break that chain.
Right.
I get my passion and my energy and my liking, my street smarts really from my mother. So my wittiness came at a young age, so it made me rebel against things that I know wasn't the right way for a kid to live, to the point where
Mm-hmm.
I took it to school. Got in a lot of trouble in school, but I was always had potential, so they would never actually suspend me. They would,
Oh.
they would do that type of thing until that one time I got into that real bad scenario, and I went home and I got a beating, and I still went to school, and it was a time where I got suspended. I was so scared to go home that I stayed at school and stayed up on a portable the entire day because I didn't want to actually. It was it's. I got a story,
Really?
man. Yeah. I got a
Wow.
story, man. Yeah, it was
Wow.
bad, man. It was really bad. Stayed on the roof, because she worked third shift, so she would kick me out and tell me, "Hey, you better not be here when I get back 4 o'clock in the morning." So my brother would give me something to eat, and I would stay outside. This
Oh,
was on my way to
wow.
Woodbridge. Yeah, I got a story, man. I got a really, excuse my French, fucked up
It's
upbringing,
okay.
man.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it was
And
rough.
we've known each other for over 20 years and I've never known that. I've
Yeah,
never known
cause
that.
I don't. Well, I talk about it. I talk about it, and I'm a true definition of leading by example,
Yeah.
and those who like they seen it, man. It's bad, man. I'm talking about the slaps in the face, the you won't be nothing, and it's just bad, man. Just really bad. And only thing that really helped me to get out of it was I never forget it. I was in Rose Park. I was sitting on the corner, and the guy who I really looked up to, he was a dope dealer. He walked up to me, and I had a notepad. I would all write over him a notepad. And I would sit on this little brick in the dirt, and I would just write, not knowing that I'm writing, right? Just writing, right? It was my
Mm-hmm.
poetry at the time. And he walked
Mm-hmm.
up to me and said, "Jet, never stop writing. Never stop writing." And he walked away. And like a week later, he died. He got killed.
No.
These are things. These are things. These things stay with me forever. I never forget that. So I never start
Wow.
writing. I just
That's
write. I have 700 songs.
crazy.
I just write.
That's
Yeah.
crazy, bro. That's crazy.
So
So,
how yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, so how do you because obviously you have childhood trauma, right? You
Yeah.
have you
Yeah.
have trauma, you have traumatic experiences, multiple, experiences that happened to you when you were a child, you
Hmm.
know, how do you obviously you get to the point where you're like, okay, I think I'm kind of gifted. So now you're kind of expressing yourself through your music. Is that how you were coping with it?
That's one word. That's the easy avenue because I don't have to worry about the opinion of others. It was how I really dealt with it. I really looked at the individuals I was hurting as I was hurting them, and I realized it's like a fresh haircut or a smile. It just that these type of things that can change your life, can change the way you flow, that new outfit, that everything fits perfectly in that moment. That's the same way I would treat if I would treat somebody bad, because I know in that moment in time I can literally change the way you think. I have an example. I have a story. So in the projects, my homeboy Joe Charlton, great guy.
Oh yeah,
He
I know
know I
Joe.
always right. He knew I always ran for church, right? For most of the reasons. I know, and so he knew he knew the one thing that would keep my attention was the girls, the ladies, right?
Okay,
He
okay.
called it just chill. He called me one day and he says, "Hey man, we having a harvest fest, right? We having a harvest fest at this church off of 22nd. You should come up here." And I'm like, "Nah, I ain't coming. I'm out there in the streets at the time. Like, I ain't coming out there, man." He's like, "Man, come on, man. These chicks up here, these girls up here, man, I'm on the way." I ride my jumper up there. I throw my jumper in the bushes. No joke. I go in there. This is the number one reason right here where I stop, and people are gonna take this from this. I stop picking on people. I stop being the verbal bully. Because you know, I never was a physical guy, you know, so I could hold my own, but I ain't finna go in and start no fights. I never forget it. We was in this church and everybody was chewing on everybody, right? Now it was time to get in line to eat. And this lady was in front of me, and she wasn't visually up to par, right? And I started picking on this lady, right? And a couple people laughed and a couple people didn't. We was in the zone. This was happening in real time. Dude, about the same size as JT, 6'6", big boy, tapped me on my shoulder. He said, "Hey man, I'm gonna spare you." Now when he says this to me, I'm already on the defense. "What you mean?" He said, "No, I'm gonna spare you. God bless you, my brother." I said, "What you mean?" He said, "That's my mama." He says that to me. He says that to me, so I'm gonna spare you. He said you didn't understand. You just gotta do better. I took that. I took that and I ran with it.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
I never forget that.
Those experiences like that, do you feel like they helped you, you know, mentally, emotionally process a lot of the stuff you were going through at the time?
Yeah, it did, but it also made me very sad because of the things I went through at the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the things that were unnecessary, the things that we can't repeat, but the things that make you think about the domino effect of things you weren't able to do, or the things, you know, those things that you had every ability and everything was lined up, but somebody chose to make it hard for you.
Yeah.
And you would never get that opportunity again. It's hard, man.
How do you process that? How do you process that now as a parent? Like now you're a parent, you have a kid, you have two, right? You have, unless you got some out there that you don't know about, you know.
It was a wild summer. I'm sorry, what's your question?
Listen. So how do you now process those moments, looking back at your childhood? How do you process those moments now, being that you are a parent, trying to prevent a lot of, maybe the same things that happened to you, to prevent them from happening to her? How do you process that?
Cup half full. That's it.
Yeah.
Cup is half full. And the old cliche, it can always be worse, simply because, you know, the other cliches like, I don't want my child to go through what I've been through.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, man. Cup half full. You just lead by example. And those moments where you can naturally, it's like being at a call center, somebody call you, you already know what they want before they finish their sentence. It's the same thing in life. When you just know, if I continue to do X, Y, and Z, that is, you won't pass go, like 200 pass go. When you get back to A, it's not gonna be the same. You know what I'm saying? I'm such a rapper. But yeah, there you go. It's
I have a father bod, man.
That's hilarious.
Internationally known, locally accepted comedian out of VA, Virginia, the only state that matters.
Okay.
And huge fan of ValTrenda because can't have ValTrenda without VA, and I am in desperate need of mental health help. So let's make this thing work out.
All right, good. Thank you so much again. So again, we're talking about dad bods. We're talking about, now I want to first talk about, how did you react to Will Smith's picture when he first posted it? Because he posted two. The first one was just like, y'all, look, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I'm in the worst shape I've ever been in. Like, how did you respond to that? What did you think?
So first of all, as somebody with a father bod, I was like, well, that's the worst shape of your life, man. Look, that would still probably be the best shape I'd ever had. So I was upset about that. Also, okay. I want to go ahead and let people know, round is a shape. If you actually go back in, circular is a shape. When you learn your shapes in the beginning, square, triangle, rectangle, you don't ever get muscular. When you're in kindergarten, muscular is not a shape. So I feel like I'm in shape. I am right there with what kindergarten says.
In the round shape?
Yeah, round is what's up. I'm a perfect before picture. So
Okay.
what I thought about it though initially was nothing. Like I think most guys kind of looked at it, and I had a problem with the second one with the way that he was standing.
Oh,
Come on, Will, you could have put up a more standing,
a
a
more
lot of
manly stance.
yeah, you could have took a stance like, yeah, come on, man, flex on him, do something. That little hand on
No,
the hips.
he had to show y'all what's all going
And
on.
then he had "Don't You Wish Your Girlfriend Was Hot Like Me" playing in the back. I was like, come on, man. I was initially introduced to it though. I'm good friends with Kev on stage, and Kev put the picture up of him standing like that.
Right.
And him and Kev do look like body doubles. Like I was like, okay, this is what it is.
Right,
So
right.
I was cool with it. I think that when you get older, for men, we really let it go. Like once we get outside of our prime, we like it is what it is at this point, Will. I still won't wear a shirt. And I still have some body confidence issues, I guess is what we can say. Like I won't get in a pool or swim shirtless yet. I'm not there yet. Nah, dog.
Do you mind sharing how old you are?
I'm a solid 34 or 44, somewhere between there. Yeah.
Age or your was that your
age
or your size?
Waist size? I wish that was my waist size. I'd be all right. No, but I'm 44 now.
Let me see what Santos said. Santos said a lot of people took it as a sign for help, but I think he's happy to finally let loose. He's been trying to be in shape his whole life because every camera on earth is on him 24/7. Very true.
But he is starting a challenge though. So like he is like, I'm getting ready to get back. And I think it's 6 weeks from now. So I think he wants guys to kind of post their before picture, and then we see where we are 6 weeks from now. I don't think it's fair to compete with Will Smith because Will got money, Will got trainers, Will got chefs. Will, so whatever Will wants, Will can have. It's harder when you're a quote unquote everyday man, or if you're like a true dad. Like myself, I'm running kids. So, for example, for me, I'll give a perfect example of why. Even if I wanted to try to sit down, and I know somebody's gonna try to shoot holes in it, be like, it's just an excuse. But like right now, I got 2 kids. I'm one that I love, one that I'm getting used to. Both of them play soccer.
I'm so sick of you.
So both of them are playing soccer. So like Monday and Wednesday, my daughter, she has school, then soccer practice. I got to get her to soccer practice, pick her up. She gets out of that like 7:30. Tuesday and Thursday, my son has it Tuesday and Thursday, so he gets home at 7:30.
Right.
Weekends are games. Tomorrow she has a game out of town, like all of that. So it's harder for me, even if I'm like, all right, I'm gonna cook, I'm a meal prep, I'm gonna still be eating at 9 o'clock. So for me, it's easier for me to be like, yo, let's just grab something on the way home. So you have those kind of trials, but it's
So tell me, what's a dad bod? Like, what is it?
I think it's any normal body. I think it's what I got right here, man. The keg. You don't get no 6-pack. You get a keg. You got the cushion for the pushing. And I think it's just a guy that's like, yo, I'm living my life. I eat where I want to eat. I do what I want to do. I'm not spending extra time in the gym. This is life. This is a life body. This is what that is.
Yeah.
And, and I think that's all it is. I think you can go a little too far. When you start looking like Grimace or the poop emoji when you sit down, then you've gone a little too far. But if you could just kind of be just normal, put a little weight on, I'm with it.
Is that normal though? Is it normal for guys to have a belly or, something? Is that normal for guys?
I think it is. I think it's normal for everybody. First of all, I'm Southern. So everybody in the South, you got a little extra weight on it. Even the women, I got something that's different. I'm like, you can be Southern girl slim. So slim for a Southern girl is completely different than slim for some girl out west.
Okay.
You can't find those stores in the South with a size 0 in it. They don't even carry size 0s.
If it is, there are a few of them, right?
Yeah, but that's where they start out west. You go to California and stuff, they got size 0. Negatives, you be like, what? How am I wearing a negative? You know what I'm saying? So like, like here, you start at an 8, between an 8 to 12, 8 to
For
14.
women.
For women. 8
What's
to 14.
comfortable for a man? What's a comfortable size you think? What's your average size? In your own opinion, of course.
38.
What's your average size? 38?
38 is average.
Okay.
38 is average. 38, if you wear
What
38, you can get clothes. 38 and below, you can get clothes anywhere.
What are
38
you?
below. I'm a 42.
You lying?
No, I'm a 42.
Okay. All right.
But a 42 is a big man's clothes. That's like right at you too big for regular, too small for big and tall.
Right.
So like the 42. So for example, I had to do a show this weekend in DC, and it was a surprise show. I didn't take no clothes for it. The guy just asked me to be there. So I had to go to Macy's to try to find an outfit. Finding that 42 was a struggle.
Yeah.
Like they got 38, they might have that 40, but that 42, man, that junk is a hard find.
So the guys on here are saying, Isaac said that average for a guy is about a 40. Josh says that average is about a 36 to 38. So somewhere in there. So is your average size dad bod? It considered dad bod? Y'all answer that. Is average dad bod, like if you in the 36 to 40, is that a dad bod, or dad bod is like 42?
No, you absolutely in the 36 to 40. You definitely in that dad bod range.
Yeah.
But let's first of all let me let these ladies know this. The way that they make us, the way that they do men in general is wrong. Okay, because you know how y'all size start at 0. Your sizes start at 0. Ours don't even start till like 28. Like if you put on pants, you in a 28. You know what I'm saying? Like women can get a 0, a 2, a 4. Man, we don't have no low numbers like that. You ain't never seen a dude. I ain't wore a 2 since I was 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the ValTrenda Show, your headquarters for melanated mental health. End of season 1. Woo! Yay! Hooray! 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 I did it! You guys made it through it with me. Thank you for every share. Thank you for every like. This first season was so exciting. So many guests, so many educating moments, so many enlightening moments, so many everything. All right. I know you've never seen a show like this, and you never will. That's why you're going to have to come back and join us for season 2. We've been renewed. You know how they be celebrating all that? We've been renewed for season 2. Yeah! You guys don't know how excited I am, because this has been a dream come true for me. So you see me in the street, holler back at your girl, man. Give me a high five, give me a hug. Well, maybe not a hug, because it's still COVID. But anyway, these moments have been so enlightening for me, so educating for me. So many different things I'm learning about this business, learning about myself, and I'm elated. I'm elated that you all stuck out this first season with me. Now, I have a lot of thank yous, but I can't give them all. But mainly, my first big, huge one outside of God is to my producer. And he doesn't know I'm going to say this, but I am so grateful that you've given me a chance. Thank you for believing in my gift. Thank you for believing in my vision. Thank you for putting melanated mental health out there. And it's just, I'm grateful to you, Jorge. I can't say it enough. Thank you. The 6 a.m. filmings probably has been, not my greatest moments, but I'm still grateful for you. You pulled so much out of me. Thank you. I'm so grateful to everyone, all the entire staff. on the ValTrenda Show. It's not the end of the whole ValTrenda Show. It's just the end of season 1, right? I'm acting like it's like we're never coming back, but we are. I just have to give thanks though. You know, my dad told me if people are working for you or with you, make sure you give them thanks. So thanks to everyone, Shalette, everybody on the Mocha in the Morning Show, everybody on the Fab Lab, the entire Mocha Media Network, my staff, my hair stylists, my makeup artist, myself for doing my own makeup and dressing myself and getting up in the morning and drinking tea and, and all this stuff, my kids, everybody, everything. Thank you. We've been renewed for season 2. Come back, okay? Because we're going to have so much fun, so much more education. Mental health is huge, right? And we've got a lot more coming. We've got a lot more events. I got a lot more books. So make sure you stay tuned on all my social medias at ValTrenda, and let's do the damn thing. Let's do it. Let's do it. The only thing I have to say is remember to show each other kindness. Always give yourself grace. And for God's sakes, show love.